It's Derby time again, so Louisville is shifting into overdrive, sprucing up and gearing up for the greatest 2 minutes in sports. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes to make it all happen? Well, you're about to find out. Hey everybody, Kevin Harned coming to you from the world's most legendary racetrack, Churchill Downs. The question on everybody's mind this time of year, who's the Derby winner going to be? And while we can't answer that question directly, we do have the answers to a lot of other pressing questions, and we're going to share them with you over the next half hour. Questions like, where does the mint come from for all those mint juleps? You'll be happy to know it's all grown just down the road. We'll show you where. Meet the hard-working people behind it as well. And what about all the bourbon and beer? Ever wondered just how much it takes to quench the Derby thirst? We'll get to the bottom of that. Even show you what it's like to watch the Derby from above in a blimp. Ever wondered why the grass is always greener on Churchill's turf track? We'll show you the secret to that, and we'll see a way that you can get up close and personal with one of the world's favorite Derby champions. There's a lot to get to, so let's get started. First things first, let's begin with the horses. Derby weekend at Churchill Downs attracts the greatest thoroughbreds in the world. We all know that. But have you ever wondered how they get here? Back in the day, it was by truck. Later, by rail. Nowadays, it's a whole new story. When the world's top horses come from afar, they fly first class. There's no white tablecloth or champagne included, just hay and water. This 727 is a luxury liner for thoroughbreds. Call it Air Horse One. Operated by the H.E. Tech Sutton Forwarding Company out of Lexington. Busy this time of year, flying coast to coast and into Kentucky.
Last year we flew about 600 head in and out of Lexington and Louisville.
The plane is literally a flying barn with stalls that are built and broken down 3 by 3. It's pricey.
It is a little more expensive than your regular passenger ticket.
One ticket tops $4,000 and it goes up from there. Like for this mare, traveling with her foal, too young to be left home alone. They ride up front, right behind the cockpit. So if you've ever wondered how the greatest horses in the world get to Louisville, now you know. They fly first class, and just like they do on the track, it's always non-stop. They come from all over, all hoping to win the roses. It's perhaps the most coveted prize in all of horse racing. Not many folks get to experience victory like that, but if you know your way around Kentucky, you can at least get close. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be up close to a Kentucky Derby winner? Not many people get the chance to be in the winner's circle, but you can get face-to-face with the Derby champion at Three Chimneys Farm in Midway.
We try to make our horses and the farm as accessible as possible.
We do public tours 5 days a week, Tuesdays through Saturdays, by appointment only.
You can get kind of a behind-the-scenes glimpse at the life of a Derby winner after winning the Derby.
And it's a great way for the fan base to be able to come on the farm and see the great horses once they retire from the racetrack.
In the past, Smarty Jones lived here, as well as Silver Charm and the great Seattle Slew. Today, the Triple Crown winner looks over the barn that's now home to Big Brown, winner of the Roses in 2008.
They can see Big Brown and a lot of other horses that have run in the Derby.
We do have a horse, Icebox, that was second in the Kentucky Derby to Super Saver though, so that's always nice to point that out to folks.
So if you've ever wondered what it takes to get up close with a Derby winner, now you know. Take a day and a short drive to Midway. A trip to Three Chimneys Farm is a great way to get in the Derby spirit. Take advantage of their free tours. You can find them online or just give them a call. Another way to get in the Derby mood is with flowers. Just as the crowds pour into Churchill Downs on Derby weekend, locals flood Louisville nurseries, looking to splash the colors of spring on our porches and yards. Meanwhile, at Churchill Downs, the work is done. Everything's perfect. Roses, tulips, all blooming. just in time for the first Saturday in May. Have you ever wondered how they time it just right, despite our ever-changing and almost unpredictable weather?
A little bit of science and a little bit of luck.
Matt Bazell knows the secret.
Watch Kevin Harnett regularly.
Yeah, he watches the weather, but he also watched over these flowers since even before Charismatic won the Derby in 1999.
I started working here when I was 22 years old.
Now, as the head of horticulture at Churchill Downs, Matt guarantees his picks. His secret, a computer-controlled greenhouse just outside the track.
We have computerized temperature controls, computerized shade control, so when it does get too hot in here, the shade cloth will close. Everything that you see on the grounds we grow here in this greenhouse.
25,000 annuals, and that's just the beginning.
We also have lots of tropicals and perennials.
It comes down to constant care and experienced eyes.
We grow so many different varieties of plants. It's better to have a person that's actually looking at them.
People who've made the color of Churchill Downs their passion. So if you've ever wondered why the flowers are always blooming here on Derby Day, now you know. It's a lot like betting the horses.
A little bit of science and a little bit of luck.
There are only 8 people responsible for the tens, perhaps even hundreds of thousands of blooms. Yeah, it's hard work, but all 8 people here at Churchill Downs will tell you it's a labor of love. Just as much as the roses are an icon of the Kentucky Derby, so is the signature drink here at Churchill Downs, and it seems that just about everybody who makes their way here on that first Saturday in May has to try at least one. All across town, mint juleps are flowing early and often, especially at Churchill Downs. Have you ever wondered just how much bourbon is poured Derby weekend?
A lot of juleps, no doubt.
Will Hodges is head of operations at Republic National in Louisville, the sole distributor of Brown-Forman products in Kentucky.
The early times of Woodford, the Jack Daniels.
And they're never busier than they are at Derby time.
April and the first part of May is a whole nother holiday season for us.
Demand is almost literally through the roof. Inside this massive warehouse, bourbon is stacked 3 stories tall, all headed for local hotels, restaurants, and party stores.
We'll ship over 2,500 deliveries, well over 50,000 cases.
And of course, the biggest customer this time of year, you guessed it.
The Churchill Downs business is our largest single on-premise account, and they will take, during this week, probably 15 to 20% of our on-premise business.
A lot of Woodford and early times, the official mint julep of the Kentucky Derby.
Talking about probably 2 tractor trailer loads full of Woodford just with the commemorative bottle, and about 2 tractor trailer loads of the early time mint julep. It's going to roughly be 24,000 bottles are going to go out to Churchill Downs of the early times mint julep.
The numbers are staggering. Let's just hope those who enjoy all those juleps won't be come race time. So if you've ever wondered,
And now you know.
of course, it takes more than bourbon and ice for those juleps. Have you ever wondered where all of that mint comes from? We'll take you there coming up next. Plus, what about the beer? It's coming in by the truckload. You won't believe how much it takes to keep the kegs flowing on Derby weekend. And where's the best seat for the race on Derby Day? It might actually be far above Millionaire's Row. If you've ever wondered what it's like to fly in a blimp on Derby Day, we're going to show it to you coming up next. Kevin Harnett back with you at Churchill Downs, where there are a lot of questions about Derby this year. The most popular, who's going to win? And running a close second, what's the weather going to do? You can't always count on good weather on Derby Day, but you can bet there will be a flood of mint juleps, enough to fill 2 tractor trailers. It takes bunches of mint, too.
It's a bunch of mint.
Bunch and bunches with rubber bands, probably around the 2,200 pounds.
But have you ever wondered where it all comes from?
We've been growing mint Since 1974.
The answer is right here in Jefferson County, on a 10-acre farm just down the road from PRP High School.
I'm right in the middle of the subdivision. I've got houses on two sides, condos on one side, and apartments on the other.
Bill Doan grows all the mint for Churchill Downs.
I've got my one little niche that nobody else really has.
But he has a lot of help, mostly from local middle and high school students.
I'm getting older. It's getting harder to do this every year.
Picking, washing, and bundling as fast as they can this time of year.
I've been starting 4 o'clock in the morning and get done about 7 o'clock at night a lot of times.
And the demand for the mint isn't just from Churchill Downs.
Right, everybody uses it.
Just about anybody that has bar service.
Jim Walker is president of Louisville produce distributor Creation Gardens, where folks are working overtime to fill orders that are up tenfold this week.
We would sell in a week's time maybe 500-600 bunches of mint. This week we will sell probably 5,000 bunches of mint.
So whether you're a fan of the julep or not,
I prefer my bourbon straight.
On this day, take pride and Bill Doan's advice.
On Derby Day, everybody should drink a mint julep.
Love them or hate them, you have to admit, it just wouldn't be Derby Day without the mint julep. And just the same, it wouldn't be Derby without a little glitz and glamour from Hollywood. You've seen the A-listers walk the red carpet and glimpses of them on Millionaire's Row. But have you ever wondered where the stars sleep at night? We went behind closed doors at the official hotel of the Kentucky Derby and found out luxury doesn't end when the race is over.
You get a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, an office.
At the Galt House, the top suites are decked out with roses.
Roses in all of the rooms.
And one of the best views in the city. It's a popular spot for visiting celebrities.
From sports stars, NBA, NFL, Hollywood, we've got TV and movie stars.
And just down Main Street,
the A-list celebs stay with us.
21C is rated as the nation's best boutique hotel.
But we definitely, pump it up a bit for Derby week.
The best room here is known as the apartment.
A large space, living room, private bedroom. There is a small kitchen. This is also great for just a cocktail party. It's a beautiful outdoor terrace, overlooks the river, very private, exclusive, private elevator. The art is spectacular. It's all 21st century, thus the name 21C.
So if you've ever wondered where the stars sleep on Derby night, you can bet it's in a suite. Pretty sweet accommodations if you can afford it. In fact, this year, a waterfront suite at the Galt House is running $1,600 per night. And what about 21C? Don't even worry about it. They're already booked solid. Tickets for Churchill Downs can get a bit pricey too, especially as you head upstairs, places like Millionaire's Row and the Mansion. But the best seat is even above that. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see Derby from the sky? On Derby Day, horses fly down the stretch. And they're not the only things flying. Private jets jam the airport, making it look more like downtown after thunder. There's a lot of air traffic over the track too. Jets and banner tows and blimps. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to watch the Derby from up there?
The Kentucky Derby is a wonderful place to fly.
Alan Judd's done it a few times.
I had the pleasure of coming here to the Derby 3 times in the past.
His airship is the Despica Blimp, a giant minion from Hollywood.
I feel like we're at the top of the heap, and Stuart the Minion's keeping his eye on them,
The blimp flies more like a boat than a plane.
I'm in a canoe just going with a bit of whitewater, a flying boat, a flying ship.
The steering wheel takes it up and down. The pilot's feet make it go left and right. It's a smooth ride with a cool view if the weather cooperates.
The airship is a fair weather creature.
We've been faced with pretty interesting weather.
Weather and even more weather.
So if you've ever wondered what it would be like to see the Run for the Roses from the sky, now you know. It's like a cruise ship in the clouds. We're cruising on with this Kentucky Derby special, and we've got a lot more questions to answer. Have you ever wondered how they get the grass so lush and green so early in the spring? The answer involves a little technology and a lot of experience. And there's new technology inside the icons of Churchill Downs. Ever wonder how they light up the spires? Well, there's an app for that. We'll show it to you coming up. Kevin Harnett back with you at Churchill Downs, where before you know it, we'll be running another Kentucky Derby. And the hallowed halls here at this horse racing mecca will be filled with a lot of people. It's always a big party that requires, well, a whole lot of beer. The old commercials used to say, head for the mountains of Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch Beer. Well, we found the real mountain of Busch here at Louisville's Anheuser-Busch Distribution Center on Produce Road.
Well, you've heard of the Rocky Mountains and you've heard of the Appalachian Mountains. Welcome to the mountains of Anheuser-Busch.
The warehouse looks like a neighborhood built with beer.
500,000 cases in here right now.
Stacks of cans and bottles so high and wide, they're as big as houses.
A lot of beer, yep.
From Busch to Bud Light.
All the Michelob family brands.
And the official beer of the Kentucky Derby, Stella Artois, is flowing non-stop this weekend. But have you ever wondered just how much beer it takes to quench the Derby thirst? It's about 30,000 cases, with another 1,000 kegs on top. And that's just at Churchill Downs.
We sell about 100,000 more cases a week on Derby week than we do a normal week.
It takes a fleet of semis to get enough beer to the track.
We'll take 8 to 12 trucks out there that are just fully loaded with cases of beer.
That's for Oaks Day, and they do it all over again on Derby Eve.
We just fill it up again, which is roughly around 10,000 cases and about 400 to 500 kegs that we take back out there on Friday night after Oaks.
So, if you've ever wondered what it takes to quench the thirst of Derby weekend, now you know. It takes a village built out of beer. Now, the infield on Derby Day, it has to rank up there as one of the biggest keg parties in the world. But there's a whole lot of work to get done before the partying can begin. Have you ever wondered how the turf track at Churchill Downs is always so perfect on Derby weekend? Lush green, deep roots, and able to withstand a pack of thundering hooves all afternoon.
It has to be as best as it can be.
The first part of the answer is David Lear.
Yep.
He's been working on the Churchill Downs grass since 1972. And he's taking over for his brother as superintendent, who spent 45 years on the turf.
We've been doing it a long time.
The other half of the equation is this, their secret.
It gives us a little boost on the growing time.
A 270,000 square foot solar tarp that kept the ground warm even when Mother Nature wouldn't oblige.
It traps the heat and helps the roots and the grass and everything and start growing, heats up the ground.
It's a tall task putting it down.
It usually takes us about 2 days to put it down.
And knowing when to take it up.
It's a judgment call every year. We don't want to get too hot because it could work backwards on you.
When it does come up, you can see the difference.
It works very well.
The part that was uncovered looks okay, but where the tarp was, the lanes where the horses run, is truly amazing.
This is where the horses will be running at. They'll be in good shape, good footing.
So if you've ever wondered why the grass is always greener under the spires at Churchill Downs, now you know. One gigantic tarp and decades of experience. Now, if I could just figure out how to get David and that tarp over to my place, I'd have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood. Yeah, keep dreaming, right? Still to come, have you ever wondered where the Derby trophy comes from? It takes literally thousands of hours to make, We'll meet the folks who do it coming up. Plus, past meets present inside the Twin Spires. Nowadays, they can change colors in an instant with the help of an iPhone. We're going inside the spires to see it next. Kevin Harnett back with you at Churchill Downs, where we're trying to answer all your Derby questions. Well, all besides who's going to win and what's the weather going to be like. Have you ever wondered what it's like inside the Twin Spires? Not many people have a chance to see it, but we did, and we found that the spires have gone high-tech. There are two things in this world that ultimately symbolize the greatest thoroughbred racing on the planet. Both are here in Louisville, here at Churchill Downs, the Twin Spires. And although they appear much the same as they did when they were built in 1895, they have changed with the time. Have you ever wondered how the spires turn cardinal red during U of L championship runs and pink for Oaks Day? Well, let's just say there's an app for that.
We're able to use our smartphone to do so.
That's right, it's done with an iPhone. What else, right?
We no longer have to climb into the spires.
The app isn't topping the most downloaded charts. In fact, only 2 people in the world have it. One is Gene Murphy, a tech guy for sure.
If we open up our app,
the high-tech LED lights are perfect for any occasion.
Colors for Christmas, red and green, of course. UAK, lighting both spires blue.
There's orange for Halloween.
We also use purple for the Breeders' Cup.
So when you drive down Central Avenue and catch a glimpse of some extra colorful spires, be it UK blue or cardinal red, you'll know there's an app for that.
There is an app for that.
The 24-year-old who came up with the design of the Churchill Grandstand was the one who actually had the idea of the Twin Spires. He thought there needed to be something striking. Little did he know that it would become the trademark of the legendary racetrack. Another symbol of the Kentucky Derby, the roses. But that's not all the winner gets. A garland of roses is the ultimate prize in horse racing, along with a Kentucky Derby trophy that's made by a family that's been in the silversmithing business since even before the first Derby was run. It's a labor of love, handcrafted by husband and wife team Bill Jouer and Suzanne Blackington.
We get to create this together.
It takes us about 2,000 man-hours a year. It has in it approximately 65 ounces of 14-karat gold. This is on a solid jade base.
Have you ever wondered what it's worth?
This is something that can't be purchased. It has to be achieved and has to be won. And as a result of that, it's absolutely priceless.
Priceless and closely guarded.
Doesn't leave our sight.
It gets the white glove treatment all the way from New England to Louisville.
The next set of hands to touch it will be the owner or the jockey in the finish line circle.
The winners also get a ring, like that of a Super Bowl champion. But have you ever wondered what would happen if a woman wins? When she does, there's something precious for her too. A 14-karat gold pendant, studded with more than a carat of diamonds.
Kind of cover all the bases.
So if you've ever wondered, now you know. Whoever claims that Derby trophy, well, they'll live forever in our hearts and minds. But the big question is, who will be the big winner? High rollers and big winners, they're all over Churchill Downs on Derby Day. But have you ever wondered where the biggest Derby winners are today? They're not here. In fact, they won't even see the race. Still, they stand on a millionaire's row of their own.
Prestigious place in the thoroughbred industry.
At Three Chimneys Farm in Midway, home to many of history's greatest thoroughbreds.
Just an amazing group of stallions.
Derby winners like Smarty Jones,
Silver Charm,
and Genuine Risk, and now Big Brown behind me.
In 2008, Big Brown took the Roses as the 2-to-1 favorite. he's still a favorite among the fans.
Huge fan favorite.
Big Brown shares a barn with Cactus Ridge, who's owned by Toby Keith.
Yeah, this is definitely the millionaire's row for the horses.
He's living the good life for sure.
He gets the best of care,
gets the best of everything.
Always under a watchful eye, whether those of human handlers or the soul of Seattle Slough, whose final resting spot is just steps from Big Brown's barn. Although he fell just short of that elusive Triple Crown, he did earn $3.5 million that year, and Big Brown is still making big bucks today.
He stands for a stud fee of $35,000, 125 dates a year.
So if you've ever wondered where to find the biggest winners on Derby Day, now you know. They're on a millionaire's row of their own.
And I think the best life.
The life of a Derby winner after winning the Derby.
Three Chimneys Farm is known as one of the top stud farms in the world. And if you want to check it out a little closer, just remember, the tours are free, so why not check it out? And while you're there, say hello to Big Brown for me. He's one of my all-time favorite Derby winners. Hopefully you've learned a few things about the Kentucky Derby, and if you're still wondering something, let me know. I'll check it out. Send me a tweet at Kevin Harnett. Happy Derby, everybody, and thanks for watching.